we're going to embody everything about Season 2, World of Dance, Episode 14, The Cut 2. Come and join us.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
All right, you guys, welcome on into AfterBuzz TV. Of course, it's all about World of Dance tonight, and we do have a guest. That's why I had to throw out a little embodiment. Yes, we are super excited to have Rudy Abreu here in the house. That's right. By the way, I'm Kristyn Burtt. Hey, all right, good to have you. Good to see you here.
Thank you. Good to
he's
be
actually
here.
an AfterBuzz pro. He's been here at least
Four times, maybe.
Four times. Yeah, he came on my show earlier
12,
this year.
yeah.
And in fact, when he came on my show, we couldn't even talk about World of Dance yet. That's how fresh it was. He was in the middle of taping it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she knew.
But I knew. I did. He
I don't
was
know if
like,
I'm still allowed to say that.
it doesn't matter at
It
this
don't
point.
matter.
You know what?
We cut
NBC
it.
knows that I know even the winner. So they were like, how did you find out? I'm like, I'm not giving you my source.
Girl.
Let's talk about the pretty ladies on the other side of the table.
Hey, I'm Tiege Dooley-Panko, and I'm so excited to get this conversation going.
Yes, it's a good one.
It's a good
Yeah.
episode. And I'm Shannon O'Connor, so stoked. Rudy, he's all right. He's
all right.
He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
This is good. This is good. Well, I figured what we were going to do is just kind of like kick off the night. We're talking with Rudy to make sure we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
We'll probably highlight the acts that make it through to the divisional finals, so we won't probably get in depth as much as we usually do with the other acts, because you know what, we want to talk about your World of Dance experience, because a lot of people know that you've worked with Jennifer, but you really had to take a step back from your role on the Vegas show.
Yeah.
So what did you, when you had to take a step back, like what was that like for you?
It was definitely like a huge leap of faith for me, because it was at the time when they asked me, like if I wanted to be a part of World of Dance, I was like, yeah, I do, but at the same time, I don't want to like jeopardize something that I already have. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to like risk losing my position in the All I Have show to go do World of Dance. But I was like, you know what? Like that's what this industry and that's what this career is all about. It's about taking chances and taking those leap of faiths, because you're never gonna know like where you'll end up. And I'm really grateful that I did trust myself to take that leap of faith, because if not, I mean, my company wouldn't be where it's at right now. My status as a choreographer wouldn't be where it is, or wouldn't be going where it's going right now. And I think, being on World of Dance really like helped me in branding myself as a choreographer, which in the end of the day is what I wanted to do. So taking the step back was scary, but
Worth the risk.
Worth the risk. Yeah, absolutely.
Brings you to that next level. Well, we want you to give us like all the inside scoop on behind the scenes. Obviously, tonight was all about the cut. When you guys are getting there, when you're rehearsing, what was your mental state at this point?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I was crazy. I mean, I was so stressed and so overwhelmed, and I wish I had the other boys here. I almost brought some of them with me, and I didn't, because I was like, no, like it's gonna be way too crazy. But I wish I could have them tell you about how I felt or how I was doing during that time. I mean, I was the most stressed I've ever been in my whole life, just because I was like, we gotta come up with something amazing. It's gotta be amazing. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely super stressful. I think when I'm most stressed, and when we are most stressed as a collective and as a company, our best work comes out, because it's kind of like, okay, it's crunch time. Like we did like 5 different versions of Gravity in like a week. So we're like, okay, we have 4 days left until it's time to perform. Like I need to get this final product done now. Okay, you're gonna do this, and that's it. It's done. Like let's solidify it. Let's make it work. Boom. And I was stressed, but the boys were really able to or the men were really able to kind of like level me down, ground me. You know what I mean? Listen, bro, like we got this, and if we don't got it, it's okay, because we're gonna continue to do amazing things from here. You know what I mean? So, it was good. It was stressed. I was stressful.
Yeah.
I was stressed.
Well, people that don't know Rudy, I love that you are. that I'm like, I love that you're so like emotional, and it's a good thing though, because I think a lot of men are afraid to cry in public, and Rudy is like, since So You Think You Can Dance, he's been like,
when I get angry, I cry. When I get sad, I cry. When I'm happy, I cry. I don't know, it's the thing. Crying is like One of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, it's
great.
good release.
Dance, crying.
Do you cry while you dance?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I definitely cry.
yeah.
I mean, just recently, just the other day, I was doing the hand job, and I was like, oh, I love this dance so much.
I need video of
I
that.
just snorted. Oh, no.
I need video of that. How did you, because you had, during that round, it was Paula Abdul, which was kind of an amazing mentor.
Yeah.
What was that like working with her, Ms. Abdul?
That was great. I mean, I've done stuff with Paula Abdul in previous, in the past. I've worked with her as an artist, and I've also worked with her on her TV show. She did Live to Dance a couple years back, which I was on. So full circle, you know what I mean? It was really cool. Like, I was a dancer, and that was actually my first, like, anything other than dance competition was Live to Dance for Paula Abdul. And now my first ever opportunity as a choreographer, I get to be mentored by Paula Abdul.
That's awesome. Life is crazy.
Such a cool, like, full circle situation. And but she's kind of like Jennifer. You know what I mean? She's kind of like with Jennifer, it's like, okay, we want everything like this, and this is the way it's going to be, and we're going to work until we can get it like this. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If it's not possible, we make it possible, and that's the way it is. And I think with her, I mean, that's what really pushed us, was like, there were things that to me, as a choreographer, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, boom, like, this looks good. And yes, like, his arm might be a little 1 inch higher, but it creates the level, and I like the picture that it's making, so I keep it the way it is. But then to somebody else, it's a different view or a different opinion or a different oh, well, I didn't like that because it caught my eye in a different way. So it's nice to have somebody like her where I can really respect and value that her view on that type of stuff, you know what I mean? And she's just, oh my gosh, she's crazy. She's such a legend.
You know what I appreciate, and if you're too young to even know this, but Paula Abdul was the choreographer of the Laker Girls back in the 80s. And wait, we have a Laker girl right here. I know, isn't that great? It's like this, we have our own full circle moment here in the studio, but she knows how to do group routines. She knows what to look for. And so I'm actually happy that they put her in the upper team division, because it makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought that was important.
Yeah, no, I think it was great. I think her eye, she's got a certain eye for what works on stage, especially. So, yeah, I think it was awesome to see her be a mentor on this episode.
I mean, that type of stuff just comes so easy once you've been doing it for so many years. I feel like
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, for her, that's like second nature. Like, she can probably watch a dance with 5 people, or like anything with 5 people, and give just as great critique than it would be with 15 people, or like maybe not just a hip hop or contemporary dance, but a hip hop dance and a jazz dance. She can it's crazy.
Yeah.
She does have a great eye for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's it comes with experience.
How did you feel about your overall performance there in the cut? Because you got to watch it again tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was, I am really proud of our performance. I'm very grateful for the opportunity and being able to showcase my work. It was, it was great, and being able to leave on that note, I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, I could ask to be going on to the divisional finals, but
it didn't happen. You came close though, and you should be proud of that for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the scores on this one, because Neo all night long, it's just like he was much lower than everyone else, and sometimes I just don't understand where his scoring is coming from. 89 for Neo.
And he didn't even.
What do you want to say about Neo? Do it.
You know what? I'm really upset at you, Neo, and I hope you watch this, because you be tweeting about every group, and 2 weeks in a row you didn't tweet about Embodiment. So I just want to let you know I'm disappointed in your decision to not tweet about us, and when you come begging for me to choreograph for your tour, I'm gonna have to say no, because I'm gonna remember.
You're gonna say yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say yes.
You're gonna say yes, and you're still gonna tweet them, and you're gonna be friends.
You know me, I spill the tea.
No, you do. This is what. Actually, I'll tell a really quick story about Rudy. We had you on in audition rounds one year for So You Think You Can Dance, and so no one knew the full cast yet, but he knew a couple of people in the cast, so it must have been season 12, because it was after your season, or season 13, or no, it was season 12 for sure. And he was like, blah blah blah, and we were like, did you just say that someone was in the cast? And there's a photo that every once in a while I'll throw it back up, because it comes up in my time hop, and it's of me and Jake Dupree
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Oh, dude.
He does spill the tea. So Rudy is a really good guest.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So.
Juicy drama.
Yes.
That's
All right. So let's
amazing.
just get the scores. 89 from Neo, 91 from Jennifer,
Thank you, Jennifer. I love you.
and 93 from Derek.
Thank you, Derek. I love you too.
Yes.
He knows dance.
He knows
Neo
dance.
is.
And he's worked for Derek as well. So
Yeah.
anyone worried about favoritism, it's all good.
There it is.
So there it is. 91 was the average for Embodiment. We got a lot going on here, but we always like to remind you guys of how important it is to subscribe here at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah,
Click
we
it.
do. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and so much more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help, everybody. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made just for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, are you guys worried about those?
A little bit worried.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Turn those
Yeah.
off.
Well,
hate
don't
those.
be,
Turn those
because
off.
they're optional. I have good news. They're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments and we will thank you on air. For now, thank you for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Shannon, that was a good read.
That was
Good thing that I'm
Very
feeling it. It was
smooth.
flowing.
Very
Good.
smooth. You know what else was
Rudy's
smooth?
good luck charm.
Poriotics.
Oh,
Poriotics is pretty
The
smooth.
donut, jelly
Yeah,
donut.
you know,
Right?
Yeah, let's start about that jelly donut.
Yeah,
because
right?
That was kind of a fun way to sort of tease Derek and
It was
like,
awesome.
yeah, talking about their duels round and then utilizing that as part of the routine. I thought that was
So
kind of
smart.
darn creative.
Heck yeah. And
It's a
that's-
talking point.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about them is they're goofy without it taking away from the dance. Yeah, like it just adds to it, and they're just so sick. And I don't know how much I loved how much they went in and out of the songs. You know, like at some point it'd be like boom, 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 and then it would go back into the
Vanessa
lighthearted
Carlton.
song, the Vanessa Carlton
Yeah.
song. Because, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
And you said we've seen that, right?
I've seen that on
sequence?
stage. Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen the Vanessa Carlton segment.
Okay.
On
Yes.
at World of Dance Live. No?
World of Dance Live, yes,
Yeah.
which is some of the competitions, not the tour that's going out. It's all very confusing.
Oh, we're going
Right.
on tour.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you. I had the glasses on because of the Poriotics. I was like, whoa, Poriotic glasses.
Or
take
the
them off.
donut.
But just so you guys know,
Has
you
that
can
been officially
catch up.
announced? Because only 3 acts have been announced. But see, he spills the tea. Embodiment's going on tour.
More tea.
This is why we love Rudy.
we need a cleanup crew for all this tea.
I know you're not going with them. How many of the guys are going on
Yeah,
tour?
I'm not going with them. 6 of them are going. So you'll get Chris McCarthy is going to be on. Chase is going. Joseph, Andrew Flores, Howard, Andrew Allen. We got 6 of the best boys. We're missing obviously the other 7 of the best boys. You know what I'm saying? But we got 6 of some of the best boys in LA, and they're going to be representing the company on tour. So make sure you buy your tickets and you come watch us at a city near you.
Heck yeah.
It's a great tour. I saw the season 1.
That's gonna be amazing.
It was fantastic. So totally worth the ticket.
Love to go.
And so it's one of those things that embodiment. See, I'm just thinking about you guys, but Poriotics. I know you are so great. Very innovative.
Yeah.
But this is where I find super interesting. This is where Neo goes up. He
Yeah.
was 93.
Right?
And then you get J-Lo at 91 and Derek at 91.
Right.
Derek
confused. I
and
just don't agree.
J-Lo are usually close
Yeah.
in alignment most of the time, but Neo sometimes he's just like
can't
off.
read him.
He's all
We
over the
can't
place.
read him. But I loved that dance.
I
Yeah.
do
I
love
love that
Poriotics,
routine,
but
yeah.
I always wonder, like, what is the thing? Because we don't get to see the breakdown of the categories. Where is Neo changing up some of
Yeah.
this?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure. I honestly, I feel like for him, probably not coming from. I mean, I don't really know his background, but I mean, just from watching him dance and like do his stuff, he probably doesn't have a lot of technical background. So I think his decision in like the category scoring is probably based on like energy, like
Entertainment.
and entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this made me feel like whoa, so I'm gonna
Performance.
score it like this. And he listens probably to the crowd, and the crowd's like whoa, and he's like yeah, and he's like technique. Oh my God, I have no idea. So I'm just gonna score it the same way, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But I think that's where it kind of lacks a little bit, is maybe because like for him, you watch he'll watch S-Rank, Poriotics, Connection, a lot of these hip-hop crews, and he'll really be able to vibe off of that entertainment factor, the energy, because it's so mainstream. Then you watch somebody like Embodiment or like Royal Flux or like Pursuit, or you watch other people in that category and you see him kind of score them a little lower, not because we're not doing anything that's, not to the same level of what they're doing, but it's just not as mainstream entertaining.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. And I think sometimes when you get even outside the hip hop and contemporary box, he scores people really low. And I'm like, dude, tap is really hard.
Right,
You
yeah.
have to know that.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about that sort of ad nauseum, honestly, on this show. But it is one of the things I'm like, are you giving them like a little bit of credit here for, for what
Being
they're
that
doing?
fast on their feet or for being,
Yeah.
We need somebody in his ear, like, hey, by the way, that was actually really tough. I feel like he's
Just
like,
whisper.
Hey, dude, that was actually like really hard. Make sure you scar him good. That's funny.
Another group that I think is pretty important to talk about is the Ruggeds.
Yeah.
Ruggeds made it through too. What did we think of their routine?
They were dope.
I love.
Yeah, it was dope.
Paula was like beaming. I feel like when she watched them, she was just like, "Oh, you guys are so great!" Like I feel like she just loved them as people, and they were just hungry. You could just tell, and it was the cleanest yet that I've seen from them. And I just that part, because with their costumes, with their pants, the inside was the line. So when they created that line with their legs, so sick. I loved it. Entertained
cool.
beginning to end.
Yeah, I feel like it was their best routine, which I guess it's the time to pull out all the
That's when you want
stops.
to.
But that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when we were sitting there. It's like how, like I'm sorry, but like how do you have two unfinished routines and make it to the cut?
Right.
That I don't understand, especially going against last week, which I gotta say, like their duels routine was dope or whatever. I mean, it was okay, but to compete against Kirsten and like have J-Lo say that Kirsten Russell reminds her of Martha Graham in her like innovation and blase, and then you're gonna kick her off for a group that has an unfinished dance. I'm kind of
interesting.
confused in that. You know what I mean? Now I
Right.
will say this one routine that they did, I got to see it live, and I was like, okay, whatever y'all did this past week, I give it to you.
That's
Because
right.
This is what the Ruggeds stands for. But what happened the past 2 weeks, and how did you get to this point where you can showcase? You should have showcased this week one, and then gone up from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do think, like, as we were saying before, like, there's certain groups that squeak through in qualifiers because as long as you get that 80 score, and then if you get something in the duels that the judges are, like, kind of iffy on,
And there you go.
there you
No,
go.
You're right.
You're right there into the cut.
Right.
So it's definitely one of those things I always think about. I'm like, some people have the luck of the draw on
Yeah.
that.
Right.
I don't know. Their score altogether, 92, 92, 94, so 92.7, which was the top of that category, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Was it?
Or was S rank higher? Yes.
No, they were the
S
high-
rank was
they
a
were
little
the
lower.
Ruggeds.
I think it was
Rugged.
lower.
S rank was second.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so S rank, this is, a group that I've said, just keep your
favorite.
eye on them. Yeah. Melvin is really an amazing choreographer just in what he's able to create with a very large group, too.
Oh, yeah.
We need to remember that. And they look clean, they look sharp.
He trains them to kind of he trains them to move like him. I was hearing about the rehearsal process, and they like go until 2 in.the morning, and they're like yeah, and the way they move, like it's crazy. It's literally so crazy to me. Like, I mean, you watch our boys and everyone moves pretty much the same, but then you watch people dance individually. They all got their own boys. You know what I mean? You watch S rank and you watch every single one of those dancers dance, and they move like Melvin. They dance like him. It's crazy. It's so crazy how he trains them.
Yeah.
And some of them are under 18. Like, not all of that group is an adult, even though they're in the upper team, but a majority of them are adults. But I know Josh Price is like 16. He's in that group.
Yeah.
And there's some underage, so.
Yeah, me and Josh got to hang. We had some breakfast during the time. I was like, yo,
He's good.
he's cool.
I was joking all the time. I'm like, I knew everyone that was on World of Dance because right around that time of when they were shooting, everyone was having lunch in the same tent. And I was like, so they were doing, I was keeping a list off of Instagram stories. I'm like, they're on World of Dance season 2.
You
know what I'm
You can't get anything past that woman. She's a detective.
But it was really funny because I have enough people like, on my Instagram
Yeah,
that I follow
right.
and I'm like, oh, same tent at Universal.
Yeah.
I love that. It really was funny. I was like, that was the big tip off. And NBC is like, man, we got to mask the tent now for next year. What did you think about S rank, Shannon?
I thought they were awesome, obviously. And it was very interesting. Paula, this is the only crew she didn't comment on their cleanliness.
She talked about Melvin and his work.
Exactly. Well, and then it was so sweet because a lot of the times when you see the choreographers in their own dances, they are in the front, they're in the middle. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense, right? But I thought it was interesting that he put himself in the back. And J-Lo commented on that and was like, I want to see you up front. I want to see you center. But overall, it was just insane. I just am watching it so, like, trying to figure out what they're doing because it's just so unique. Something I've never seen. So, loved it.
Yeah, and I love that they're getting out there to the masses, you know, because it's like we hear the same sort of hip hop groups crews over and over again. You know, you hear of Kinjas and Poriotics and things like that, but I don't think a lot of people knew S Rank before this show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess so.
And everybody does.
Yeah, 91, 93, 93. So yeah, Neo was the one. Just a couple points, not too much, but a couple points. 92.3, and of course they make it into divisional finals. Yeah.
Let's go S Rank.
Earned it. Deserved
I always
it.
forget it. I always forget.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
Wait,
this
that's
one.
good. I think
this is
that's
like
like Superman. Super Crew.
That's super cool. S Rank
Super
is I learned it and I can't remember it right now.
It's probably something like,
I don't know.
it's probably something like very intricate.
Oh, it's
Oh, you got it.
it's this.
yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
That's it.
I gotta relearn it. I gotta call Melvin, have him
What is
teach
that,
it to me again.
Zoltan? Is that from something?
I love that. We're moving to the junior division, and Mel B was the mentor along with Neo for all of this.
Mel B.
Mel B. Josh and Taylor, I just want to talk about them very briefly because there was a lot. We've talked about this. There's so much Keone and Mari influence this season on the junior division. Lots of couples made it through. And Josh and Taylor, even though they didn't make it into divisional finals, I just want to kind of gauge, like, in comparison to some of the others who made it through, you know, like the Charity Andreas as well as Casey and Sean, what do you think? How did they measure up in your eyes?
I feel like they were. I feel like a little bit they were trying to do stuff that's already been done, and I think that the couples that got through were doing stuff that was super innovative, and we haven't seen a bunch of. So I feel like if you're trying to copy a mold that is successful, sometimes it doesn't get you through all the way.
Yeah.
It'll get you this far, but I don't know.
But then, and then when you have all the
I don't
couples
know.
in the same, you know, now you're all up against each other.
You gotta kind of bring. You gotta be
bring
better
it,
than the
something
100.
different.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
That to me, I mean, they're both. I love Josh and I love Taylor, and I think they're both incredible dancers individually. I think as a team, they lack a little bit just because like. It just like doesn't like pop off for me the way Sean and Casey do, or like the way Charity and Andres do. And I'm not saying that they're not great because they are great, and I think they're good together. They're just not great together. And when, if someone in my group, I mean, for me, when I went in to do Gravity, I was like, okay, whatever I do here has got to be able to beat the 93.7 that S-Rank had. So coming into this round as a duet, knowing that you have 4 other duos right next to you, you gotta like, you kind of gotta like,
You gotta really step it up.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
It's kind of amazing though. Everyone's under 18 in this category, and like, look at what the next generation is bringing.
So
crazy.
It's so exciting.
It's really kind of astonishing when you really think about it. One thing I just want to remind everyone, for those of you listening on iTunes as a podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Rudy said 5 stars, right?
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
It helps with our visibility on iTunes, of course. We love your comments as well, and we love to respond. So be sure to subscribe
5
and
stars,
give us a
man.
little love, of course. Thank you to all of you who are already subscribed as
and
well.
we appreciate you guys are always in the live chat. You guys are amazing. You're thebomb.com.
It's true.
Bomb.com featuring AfterBuzz
And I do also want to talk about Ruby and Jonas, because you know Ruby Castro very well.
and Jonas.
You know, yes, of course. And so
I know them both very well.
I love Ruby. I've loved Ruby since So You Think season 13. She's gotten even better. It was one of those. I've been rooting for her this whole competition, but they just slightly missed. But there's something interesting about their routine that you told us that I think might have bumped them probably into divisional finals had it
Am
happened.
I allowed to say this? I think I'm allowed to say it. I'm
I
going to
think
say
you
it
can say
anyways.
it.
You know
Do
what?
it.
I'm going to spill the tea.
All
Here
day.
we go.
All
We
day.
need like a
Just
spill the
dumping
tea
it.
sign.
Here's the way it works, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so what had happened was they had told Manny is
Manny
Ruby's
Castro.
dad, my dance teacher, you know what I mean? The choreographer.
Oh, look at this. You should spill the tea music.
Anyways, and they had told Manny that Ruby and Jonas would be dancing in the B stage.
And so
I'm really
explain to everyone what the B stage is too. It's the stage that's
yeah, it's the stage all the way to the back. So kind of like when they right before they walk onto that little like walkway to get to the main stage,
the round
circle,
stage. Yep.
You know, the circle stage. There's that B stage in the back where we were dancing with all the lights. Well, that B stage was supposed to be a water stage, and the day of the show, they told Manny, hey Manny, sorry, we don't have water for you actually. We are just gonna use lights and we're gonna like kind of strobe them around. And Manny was, you know, obviously anybody, an artist, a choreographer, a dancer, an actor, if you come expecting one thing and then they shift it 360 all right before you're supposed to do your job, it's kind of like, okay, well, how am I supposed to do my job when you like give me these tools and now you take the tools away from me, but you still want me to produce the same amount of excellence without the tools that I need to do this, you know what I mean? So that was and then they had to do it with the lights, which was still incredible, but like all the smacking on the floor and the boom and the bang, it was supposed to have this water effect, which I truly believe that if it would have had that, there would have been no question to Ruby and Jonas making it through. But I feel like these shows, they do this thing where they like try to make a clear path for the people that they like really like, you know what I mean?
They have a narrative and they like to follow it.
And I think that could have possibly or potentially been a thing with them. I think, you know, maybe they were like, oh shoot, Ruby and Jonas are like super dope and they're bringing it this week, but like we can't have them in the divisional final because we need this person, and this person.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It totally happens a lot, and maybe you know, and also maybe they didn't want 3 couples in the divisional
That's what
final.
I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Is that they didn't want 3 finals or 3 couples.
But also, still, they could have told the judges to knock them down. I feel like the water would have been so dope.
sick.
Yeah,
sick.
and so you guys go back and watch the routine on YouTube, on the World of Dance YouTube page, and you'll be able to see sort of those moments of where they're like smacking the stage.
You'll be like, oh, that was supposed to be water.
Yes.
Oh, that was supposed to be water.
Because once you told us that, I was like, oh shoot, that
see,
would have been
it would have been epic.
showstopper.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool.
85 Neo. 89
Leo,
J-Lo.
come on,
91 Derek. Again, see Derek understanding. Thank you, Derek. 88.3. So I just wanted to point that out because the little bit of insider stuff is always really interesting, I think.
Leo is going crazy, bro.
He was mean in the junior division tonight.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, one of my favorites, Sean and Casey. As we all know, of course, they were here in my studio to the point. So I'm super, super biased when it
Sean
comes
and
to
Casey.
them. Because they're incredible. They were incredible.
They're insane.
And, you know, and sometimes I look at Sean and I go, how are you 16 and coming up with this concept?
I have no idea.
Right?
I'll tell you, we did a job together in Mexico like 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah.
So he was 14.
And he was, and he was, listen to this. He was dropping these short films, right? And he was like getting ready to drop this 4th one, which ended up being to a song that I gave him. And we were in Mexico, and he was like, Rudy, like, I really want to do this video about, like, this boy who, like, runs up a, you know, he's like, what is it, like, the staircase of his life, you know what I mean? Like, the journey, whatever. So he wanted to do it at this like, canyon. So I was like, dude, do it at Runyon Canyon. Do it at freaking, shoot it at Runyon. And I was, and like, you know, he was giving me all these concepts, and I was like, dude, you got to use this song by Jack Garrett. And ends up, you know, going on YouTube, and what the way he told me is the way it came out. And like he would, you know, he was sending me videos of him at the Runyon, and dude, I'm gonna do it here and this, and you know, that was like a small little bit of time, and then like, you know, careers gotta kind of go in different ways, so we like lose communication.
Yeah.
Then we were able to come back together at World of Dance, and we, you know, I was like, Sean, oh my gosh, and just to see like the freaking. It's like he was a genius at 14, but to see what he's doing now at 16, I'm like, yo, I need to step up my game because if you at 16 is doing that, whoo,
Yeah.
It's
I need
true.
to figure out my life. I gotta eat whatever he's eating because that guy is a genius. I hat off everything off to that guy. He's so amazing.
He's so cerebral, I think, as an artist. And I think that makes some really interesting different levels of his choreography and mature beyond his years, honestly.
He does everything. That's another thing that I'm like so impressed by him is that he can do and choreograph anything you want him to.
He put out on Instagram, and someone sent it to me. He had put out like some of what he did and how he laid out the stage and where he wanted the lights. Like he really had a vision of it. And I mean, it's choreographer's notes that you guys all do in your notebook and things like that. But I was like, again, just at the age of like really being able to conceptualialize this whole thing. I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to do
That's all
it.
he's ever done. You know what I mean? It's like
It's his passion.
Yeah, yeah.
What job was it?
But what?
What job was it?
We were doing freestyle. Was it freestyle? No, it was Yo Bailo por un Mexico Mejor, which is like a charity event for. There's actually a guy in Mexico. I can't remember his name, but he wears like a wrestling mask. And he like that's like his like disguise, and he's like the superhero of Mexico, and he like creates these homes for all these like homeless people and these homeless families, and they have like this big sign with a 5 and an X on every like home that he's built, and they're like all over the city of
That's
Mexico.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really nice event to do. It was
It's
crazy.
really impressive.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Can we talk about the scores on this one too? Because
Yeah.
88 Neo, 94 J-Lo,
Yeah.
94 Derek. That's a 6-point difference to me is huge.
It's significant. Yeah, it was. I was really surprised, but
Hi.
Like,
freaking
where
loved it.
are you digging?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's
6-point
saying. I don't
difference.
know.
Wait, what did he do?
88, 94, 94.
I'm
Right?
done. I'm done with him. I'm leaving. I'm
You're
done
like,
with him.
last time I tweeted, their average score was 92. Any good action going on in the
I was
chat
looking
room?
at it. I was like,
Lots of
yes.
Rudy love.
He is crazy. I love him so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rudy's been crazy
got
ever
the
since I met
tea.
him.
So sad to see you go, Rudy. Yo, you know, it was so sad to see me go too. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Yep.
Trini
that
boy.
one. Trini boy 27.
D.
Yes, Yo Bailo with Kristyn Anna Miller. How'd you know, girl?
Because, yeah, she knows everything. Yes.
She said
Tina.
this-
Yeah, she
this
knows.
goes back to
Yeah,
the
Zena
mom.
knows it all. She's really smart.
I like Zena.
All right, and then we go into another Avery and Marcus. This was probably the one thing that I do like to just mention. At least these poor kids representing ballet.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it on the show. The other ballerina I know that was doing the show, Kaylee Ware, got cut from the broadcast. So
There was.
they were there's one. Avery, you guys, I will have an interview with Avery and Marcus coming out tomorrow on Dance Network. But in the article, Avery talks about like how hard it was to dance on that stage with point shoes. They had to add rubber to them, and a lot of people just talking about feet, like their feet were cut up because of all of the little squares.
Mine were done.
Yeah, like mess.
What is that? So was it slippery?
So like what it is the whole stage is created by LED screens. So think about like this is one LED screen, then this is 2 LED screens. So they're
there's
literally just attached by
slice.
this. Let me tell you, when we did that cut routine, one of the boys does like a big round that back layout, and I don't remember if it was him or if it was the person that did the trick before, and they landed and sliced the whole side of their foot open, and then we did another run, sliced it open in the same place again, and he was like walking around the stage with blood, and I'm like, well, number one, you have the stage, and then number 2, on top of that, you have a camera spinning around the stage, so there is a gap between the A stage and like the outside part of the A stage. So that's where he landed, was in the crease between. Yeah, so it's hard, bro, and I could only imagine for her, because we were barefoot and we were kind of slipping around because of it being a screen and we're slipping, you know what I mean? Her on those point shoes, I gotta give it to her for staying on that box, because that was hard.
Yeah.
That looks like it was hard.
Really
Speaking
hard.
of ballet, I saw you in your ballet class the other
Yes,
day.
I took ballet classes with you guys. I've been sore all week.
Marcus, she's coming for you, bro. She wants to partner with you, Marcus. She wants to partner with you, baby.
You won't have to lift my leg up like Avery's though. I'm at 45
already
right
naturally
There you go.
Oh, I was about to
Yes.
say, he ain't got to lift it because your leg already goes
It
up
is
there,
just
right? You know what I'm saying?
sleeps like that.
All
That's how she
day.
sleeps.
All day.
But my double pirouette still exists. That was my big win. So I was like, my double pirouette still exists. I'm not sure about my extension
girl.
though. I know.
Hey.
It's good. We'll take what we can get. Let's go on to Charity and Andreas. Obviously coming off big from the duels with their perfect score. Such an athletic style. Every time I see them, I'm like, you just don't know where they're going to turn or
Exactly.
spin or move next. I think I like that unexpected aspect of their dancing.
Their facility is pretty is pretty incredible. It's like the broadest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I feel like they looked a little bit more nervous this round.
Yeah.
A little shaky, but as perfect as they were still.
I mean, they have a huge. I mean, they were probably.
How do
You know
you
what I mean?
come
Like-
back from perfection?
Right?
Yeah, that's a
But I think that they did execute it perfectly. What
Oh,
they
absolutely.
did. Yeah.
and
It's
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
And you worked with him in divisional finals, correct?
Yes. So coming up after this, actually, you'll see in the divisional finals, I actually got to work with them. I was supposed to be doing Jackson solo, and then like the day before I was supposed to be working with Jackson, there was like a switch. I guess Charity and Andres also needed a choreographer. So Tabitha had been like, yo, Rudy, we want you to actually work with Charity and Andres. We're going to have somebody else go with Jackson, which Talia wanted to go work with Jackson. Which was
Talia Fabia,
yeah.
guys.
So that was like,
amazing.
that was dopeness.
Yeah.
I was actually a little sad because I actually started my own junior branch called Embodiment, the Collective Junior, which we have some really amazing things coming for you next season on maybe a different TV show.
Maybe.
But I can't even.
You're not gonna
World's
spill that
best?
tea?
Huh?
World's best?
We don't know.
Oh, okay,
We
that
don't
one.
know.
Same network, guys.
Okay, cool. How about us? Now we don't know, but
We will know.
Yes.
Cool.
Sometimes
Sorry,
before
guys, you'll
World of
find out.
Dance.
Yeah. Sometimes.
network.
Who knows?
You'll
But we
find
gon-
out. You'll find out one of these days.
Yes.
We gonna hold that one back just for a second.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But y'all can figure it out.
But yeah, I mean, for Jackson, like, I was really excited to work with him because I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna bring him part of my Embodiment, the junior group, like, whatever. Didn't work out. Ended up working with Shannon and Andreas. Those people are like, I mean, they work like Jennifer. They work like Jennifer. They're like, and like Paula.
Perfectionists and
They're-
yeah.
Love it.
This is the way it is. And if I can't do it like this right now, I'm gonna find a way to make it happen
yeah.
because this is the way it is.
Can I ask you, since you were helping behind the scenes once you were eliminated from the show, are you getting paid as a choreographer? Is the show paying you, or how's that work?
Well, I was getting paid. The Charity and Andres, they were super nice, and they were super like. They were like, they couldn't believe that I was taking the time to come and work with them. I actually told Tabitha and Napoleon, I feel like I do a lot of, me and Tabitha and Napoleon have put me out on this, in the industry. They like gave me my first job, and they have continued to bless me with my career, and I owe them so much that if they even asked me to do anything and it was
say
like,
yes.
I say yes, whether it's free or not. And you know, they asked me to do it and for free. They didn't have the budget, and I was like, you know what, like, because it's you and because like everything you've done for me, I'm gonna do it for you. And they felt like they needed to, you know, give me some sort of compensation, so they did. Charity and Andres, they paid me both weeks, and it was like really, really nice. Oh, sorry. It was really, really nice to get to, yeah.
I know, he's sitting there. He's like, did I just slip and give a spoiler? Maybe. And then he made it worse because then he went, oh. Spill the tea. This is why we love having Rudy as a guest.
Sorry.
I love you, Rudy. Okay. 89. See, again, Neo kills them.
Neo, you are crazy.
J-Lo was kind of in the middle of 93, and then you get Derek, who's like, I'm giving y'all 96. So 92.7.
So good.
Bravo. And we get to
Deserved.
Jackson Willard. And
Jackson.
this was kind of an interesting, we're going to have to go a little bit quickly on this one, but I do think it was interesting in that mentoring session with Mel B of him really sort of struggling with who he is. And, you know, he is a young black man living in a white family in Utah. And I think that, you know, it was interesting with him, that interaction with Neo and Mel B, and just talking about that. They're like, you're beautiful and own who you are. And I thought that was great.
Yeah. And I'm sure we've all been there, but it brought tears to my eyes because I'm like, I have been there. I have been where he is. And it was just amazing how, obviously not exactly where he is, but you know.
Of course.
The self-love part of it.
Of course, yes.
But you, in his performance, you could never tell. His confidence was through the roof, and I loved seeing his swag and his personality mixed with his amazing technique. It was just,
Yeah.
it was insane. He's insane. I
Except
loved
for
it.
you were 2 stage left the whole time, Jackson, so make sure you think about that the next time.
A little choreographer's note.
Love you, brother.
And that was enough to get him on through. He squeaked in there 90, 90, 92 for an average of 90.7. So Jackson,
So stoked.
Charity and Andreas, and Sean and Casey make it into divisional finals.
Yes.
That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough.
That is a tough one,
Yeah.
but that's an exciting one, I think.
Yeah.
Juniors, like, just keep watching those juniors. They're killing it. And, you know, it's a great moment to be a junior dancer. All these shows that are happening makes you want to be like 13 and just be here in Los Angeles dancing. One quick thing, you know, yesterday we had on To The Point, we had Jenna Johnson on. Yes.
My first All-Star.
Your first All-Star, Jenna Johnson. We love her. And we were talking a lot because she's also from Utah. Utah breeds like the best dancers in the world, I feel like.
Except for Miami.
I have said that. Have I not said Florida? Like Miami
Florida,
is.
yeah,
Yep. I said everyone keep your eyes on that. But, you know, it's kind of amazing, though. You've got Jenna, Whitney, Lindsay Arnold, Brittany Cherry, as well as Brandon Armstrong, all on Dancing with the Stars at one point or another. So here's a quick clip. And it's something that really strikes me all the time. Coming from Utah, you have you and Whitney and Lindsay and Brittany Cherry and Brandon, like and Jensen right now. This is Riley Arnold also is experiencing at juniors. How special and unique that experience is.
Derek Hough, Julianne Hough.
Yeah. That you guys have like all grown up, all known each other, all wound up on at least one or two television shows together.
I don't even understand it. I don't know how it happened. The only thing I can like think of is that we all really like to dance, and that I think we came from a really awesome foundation of how we were raised and how we were put through the studio life. I think they really pushed us, and I think you can see that now. I think we were really lucky to be cross-trained and everything, and I think that's been to our advantage.
And the old cross-training is always the one that you have to really talk about, especially when you go on So You Think You Can Dance, as you certainly know for sure. Yes. And I will just tell you that Jenna gave an honest, frank, very open 1 hour with us, just talking a lot about her own struggles. And I actually prepared 0 questions for that particular interview, and I just kind of said, let's talk. So it was a really interesting hour. So if you have a chance, hop on over to Popcorn Talk and check that out.
It's good stuff.
Rudy, you were on my show too.
I was.
Yes, we
I
had a
was on
fun
Popcorn
hour.
Talk.
Yes,
I
you
loved
were.
it.
To the point. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. So we've got only 2 more weeks left of World of Dance and divisional finals. Should we spill the tea on that?
You want to spill the tea?
Let's spill some quick tea before we wrap up, because if you guys remember, like I'm going to say I mentioned it 4 or 6 weeks ago, that there was some type of prize for the winners of divisional finals. What is it, Rudy?
Oh, dude, I can't even tell because I'm like I might be wrong, but
Okay.
it's
money.
It's money.
It's
It's money. I
the
just don't know the
monetary
actual
prize.
the number because I didn't get it, but I should have.
So the winners of divisional finals each get a monetary prize.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
They
so
do.
there you go. So I thought that's good to know. That's a little bit of tea for all you guys to take into next week.
And they all
much
got
tea.
and everybody from the cast member, like they all got a free car. Cause did you hear about Han? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
What? Wow.
Shoot.
I was like, I did not hear about that. Yes, but
So funny.
but I think that's exciting because obviously the winners get $1 million, but it's nice when the runners up
Hell yeah,
money
girl.
too.
My
I'll
favorite
take that
thing.
50G.
My favorite thing ever was when Kristyn looked surprised, because you never surprise her.
I know,
In
and I'm
the
like-
car, she was like, "Wait a second, I haven't
Is
heard
that why everybody's driving the same Honda Accord in the same color?
Blue.
I was like, when is that happening? All right, Rudy, you are always a fun guest.
Oh, thank
you
you
are
so much,
particularly exciting tonight. Spilling so much tea. If people want to follow you, where should they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Dance11Rudy. You can also find me on Instagram, which is my main social media. You know what I mean? Rudy A. Abreu. Rudy A. Abreu. And you can also follow me. You can follow my company's page, Embodiment The Collective, on Instagram and Twitter.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All those places. Teague, where can we find you?
Amazing. You guys can find me at Tiege DP pretty much everywhere. But thank you so much for coming in.
Shannon.
Yeah, this has been a blast. I'm Shannon O'Connor. You
Shannon
can find me.
Skywalker.
Yes, you just gave it away.
Sorry, dude.
That's good.
Back on Instagram at Shannikin_Skywalker and Twitter at ShanOC.
See, he always spills the tea on everyone
okay.
ahead of
I love
time.
it.
And I'm Kristyn Burtt. And of course, you guys can find me on Twitter and then the Kristyn Burtt on Instagram and Facebook. And we will see you guys all next week. Thank you so much, Rudy.
Peace and love, everybody!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.